It's August 14th, 2019, and we're going to take a look underneath the 1969 Mustang Boss 429 Tribute. Here it is up on the lift. Take a scan through and a walk under. Tried to add some additional light here so you can see what's going on underneath. These are the headers. Very solid. They just have a coat of surface rust on them. As I said, I was planning on getting them jet coated at some point in the future. Just never got around to it. Like everything else, I wanted to make sure they fit properly before I spent the money on ceramic coating. And they come off in 10 pieces. Floor pans, torque box, frame rails. This frame rail and torque box has been patched. On the lower section, the rust was cut out and this section was replaced. This is the original component over here. Floor pans were completely done on both sides. Solid. There's a high build coat of black paint on the metal that was added. You can see some of the original orange oxide under there from the original torque box in the back here. The welds are all done very cleanly, all through the rocker area. And up as you ascend into the main rail area as well. This here is, again, the original portions of the floor pan. You can see some of the original undercoating over here, but it blends in with the black that was added over the replaced floor pan area. As you go up, if you can see, up in here in the drive shaft area, I'll try to get you up there. You really can't feel any welds. Let's see if I can get past this area here. I'll see what I can do. Probably not, but there is no seaming that you will feel in the joints where the floor pan joins the original area. Again, it was welded in very smoothly and very cleanly. It's just something I insisted on when I was picking this car. And again, coming over to the other side here, you can see some of the fuel line, clean weld lines in. This torque box is original. Again, this section of the rail itself was actually replaced, but the rest of the torque box is original and existing. Solid, no rust at all. Again, original frame rail on this side entirely. So we look up in here again, this little segment of frame rail was replaced here where my hand is. It exists back to the original front frame rail here, which extends all the way forward. Lower control arms, upper control arms are all new. Brakes, calipers, everything rebuilt and replaced. This car was not done for show, so it's not all super detailed underneath. It was done to be a driver, which is what it is. Drive shaft, exhaust system, thrush welded mufflers. All right, again, some of the original undercoating on the car remains, but again, no rust at all underneath. Over the axle area, the housing itself here. Take a look at the frame rail area. Springs, slightly higher lift to give the car a little bit more of a rake. The vintage traction bars. Again, 2.5-inch exhaust all the way back. And again, if you can see it in here, the original frame rails are back in here. Kind of hard to see, unfortunately. Very solid. Let me see if I can grab another light, if you'll bear with me. And we're just panning around to the other side here with the fuel tank. Underside. All right, shackle area. And again, the frame rails have their original undercoating on them, but there's no rust in them whatsoever. They're solid. The floor pans for the trunk, the drop-offs here were replaced. You can see a little bit of a seam in there. Again, not as concerning given the nature of this car, but again, the underside of the quarter panel where it meets up, beautifully done. All right, kind of hard to shoot the video here looking at the phone sideways, but I'm doing what I can, so at least give you at least a reasonable understanding of what the car looks like underneath. Again, the drop-off done here, welded into the existing floor pan. This rail, again, original to the car. Up over the axle. Again, the other side here with the slightly higher lift leaf springs, traction bars, Lakewood style, vintage. Again, brake cables connected. The handle inside the car will have to be replaced, but the brake cables are all connected to the car. And we continue up the other side here. Like I said, nice clean weld lines. You can see the original numbers on the rocker panel here still exist. 65, Z4, and the appropriate part numbers. Again, all original metal, at least in that capacity. Back up to the torque box. Let me grab this drop light over here. Just give me a moment. Again, it's a little hot out today, so I have to deal with me trying to wrangle this around here in the heat. I'm gonna remove my battery tender, which is in the way. Sorry about that. Let's get back to the car. But again, underneath the vehicle here again, solid, clean. Again, not exactly super detailed, but that was not the intent of this car. It would be very easy for me to strip all the black off and go through the trouble of making it really all orange oxide and pretty. Just wasn't what I was looking to do. And if I do it, and for the time and money expended, and let's face it, it's a hot rod. It's not a R-Code, Cobra Jet, Z-Code, real Boss 429. So you're just putting money in for aesthetics that if you choose to drive the car, you're wasting your time. The axle transmission tag is on there. Rug AZ, very hard to read with the camera, but again, the transmission up in here is a Boss 429 Cobra Jet style transmission that was vintage. And again, you get an idea of the headers here and the nature of fitting them in there. But again, 10 pieces, they come out individually, slide into these slip fit collectors. And again, if I keep the car, I'm probably gonna take them off and send them out to Jet Coat or somewhere else and get them coated up. But this is the underside. Like I said, solid, clean, well done in my opinion. Coming up through the front suspension area and the fender area here, again, I never saw anything that was problematic with the chassis or design. Upper and lower control arms replaced, ball joints, tie rod ends, all the links on the sway bar. Steering linkage converted to manual over here for header clearance, as you could see. And again, aftermarket suppliers would be able to provide you with some form of power assist or rack, should that be the direction you choose to go. Again, this oil pan stock size and capacity, you had the added capacity with this engine because of the oil cooler and the other componentry that I added with the relocated oil filter. But I was planning on putting a deep sump oil pan in here that would kind of complete the super stock look. And again, here's the underside of the front. Mostly original metal, like I said, as far as mostly original paint and undercoating on it as well. So like I said, it would be ideal to strip it off and make it look really beautiful, but that just wasn't in the intent when I built the car. So that's the underside. I hope this video was sufficient to curb some of your concerns, and feel free to reach out to me with any questions. And I'm gonna go have something cool to drink. Take care.